I was a very healthy, active 62-year-old until last fall. You know, it starts with a productive cough, which wasn't a COVID cough, and thinking, oh, it's just allergies, oh, it's this or that. How can I have anything serious, right? And by the end of November, I had a lung biopsy and was blindsided with the news as being a non-smoker. I had stage 4 lung cancer. So that turned our world completely upside down. The word palliative, I was very fortunate with my oncologist actually, because when we had our first appointment, he mentioned different care options and support systems. And he mentioned home care, of course, and then he mentioned hospice. And I thought, well, is it that imminent, you know? But I said, basically, I'll take any help I can get. And so I made a phone call to hospice soon afterwards, because when you get a diagnosis like that, you are, I think, almost suffering from PTSD, you know? Like, it's a huge trauma. And I needed somebody to talk to. I needed somebody who knew what I was going through, and perhaps somebody themselves who had gone through it.
Palliative care in the world of medicine, we always think of as end-of-life care. But more so, it's just encompassing an approach to care that values the person as a whole and every aspect of what brings them suffering and helping to relieve that. So we always think of cancer patients and relieving pain and suffering, but there are a lot of illnesses that we aren't able to cure. And palliative care involvement makes sure that we're highlighting that unique person's values and their goals of care all the way through, from the day they're diagnosed with something we can't fix to their final days. Whether those are psychosocial issues or physical symptoms, whatever helps their overall well-being is what we address.
I think the biggest challenge is the anticipatory grief. Going from super active person, physically, socially, volunteer-wise, to, you know, within my own 4 walls. I mean, cancer and COVID is a double whammy, you know, so that's hard to get around. I think the emotional part is a huge challenge, and for Gord to adjust to, you know, he's always done a lot for me throughout our marriage, but to do even more, and for me not being able to help, that's a challenge. And watching my kids listen to the news, that was a challenge.
One of the things we realized that we needed in our community was an opportunity to see patients earlier on in their illness. It's really amazing that we have such great support for them at end of life, but the cancer journey is often a very long one, and patients benefit from our intervention and all the services that Hospice Georgian Triangle can offer way earlier on. So grief support, counseling, and just basic symptom control.
Something that often surprises people about hospice and palliative care is that it is a family approach. So often in our medical system, we see, you know, that the patient is the number one person, and that's still true here, but we also take this approach that, you know, everybody and all of their feelings and everything that's happening to every person that's part of that family unit is also really important, and we can address all of that here with our team by branching out through the different supports and programs that we have. So I think it's surprising to people that we take an approach of the entire family as the package, kind of more of the family as the patient, centered around the one individual. And a lot of people are also surprised that we even offer these services in general, especially the grief and bereavement follow-up afterwards. One of the services that we do offer through our community support team is individual and family and group services to kids and youth. So this is a bit of a new program here for us at Hospice Georgian Triangle, but currently we have some kids that come in dyad support with a family member, and we have kids that are coming in for individual counseling. Typically when we see kids, it's for grief and bereavement support. But our support is also available for kids who are part of that caregiving unit as a family member is going through a palliative diagnosis, or if kids themselves are palliative as well. Sometimes we can get involved and provide a certain extent of support.
You do need the love and support and care that's provided through the team at hospice. Like I said, it's you know, I'm hoping it's not going to be for quite some time, but I want to die well too, and they're there to help me. We all need to be grateful that we have the hospice that we have. And we have to learn about all the different services they offer. And we should also be aware that we are a growing population and we are an aging population. So if we want to ensure that the services that they're providing now are going to be there for future patients, then we really need to step up and support the one place really that probably will affect you or your loved ones at one point or another, because, you know, you and your loved ones are going to die. So you need support. And what better place to get it than the hospice? When you hear the word palliative, you know, most people that I've spoken to think that this is the end. We're looking at, you know, a few weeks, maybe a couple months if you're lucky. But what I've come to know, and what I think everyone needs to be educated about, is that palliative care team wants to help you live as long as you can, and feel as well as you can, physically, emotionally, mentally. And I would encourage, like, I was really lucky that my oncologist mentioned hospice too, and I would encourage anyone with that kind of diagnosis to immediately get in touch, because, you know, truthfully, I'm hoping to be one of the longest hospice clients they've ever seen.